Love, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Divine, beautiful soul, what is good in your world? It's me, Nicole P, your spiritual barista, serving you up wisdom, guidance, and inspiration from the cards. My love, I have for you the brew for Tuesday, April 22nd, the daily tarot brew, that is. And I pulled the Ace of Cups. Ooh, what a wonderful card to love us and guide us as we slither into Taurus season. Aces are a nudge, are a reminder of simplicity. And in this case, the Ace of Cups is a call for us to open up and remember the simplicity in life. And I know we are not living in simple times, so don't get it twisted because this is no spiritual bypassing, my love. This is about our connection to spirit, our reminders that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we are vessels, that we are oracles, and that simple is queen. Simple is the basis from which we open to expansiveness. And the Ace of Cups, and looking at the image that the magnificent, magical Pamela Coleman Smith has gifted us, may she rest in power, peace, and pleasure. We see a chalice that is coming from the side. It's coming from a hand out of a cloud. It's like spirit is offering this chalice. It's a gold chalice. And there are 5 streams of water that are spewing from this chalice. There are these droplets below. And I counted 26, but I'm not sure if I'm right with that number. I'm going to recount again. And if you know exactly how many of those spews, those little droplets there are, feel free to shoot me a message on the website, www.cafecitoandtarot.com. But if it is true indeed that it's 28 of those droplets, that would be very interesting because 2 and 6, or 26, excuse me, 2 and 6 is 8. 8 connection to the strength and also to the like upright position of the infinity sign. Anyways, we see below this pond and these water lilies, and what's really fascinating, and then of course there's like the inverted M, right, which is a W, and there's a another really interesting image, and it's the dove, that white dove with the circle in its mouth and its beak that has a cross. And it reminds me of the, and I don't know what it's called, but in the Catholic Church, you know, you have the, you eat the wafer, you take the wafer, I don't know what it's called, you eat the wafer and then you drink the body of Christ, right? Very much it reminds me of like the body of Christ and the drinking, or you eat the body of Christ, so the wafer, and then you drink the blood of Christ, right? When they give you the wine. But in this image, you know what made me think about? Like us coming from up above, and I also I think we come from down, you know, down below. I think there's as above so below, but we're coming through like we we come down. Excuse me. I don't know what that was. Hold on one second. I'm not going to stop and re-record this because I keep on doing that. So, excuse me. I'm not going to edit that out. So it's like we come down into form, and it's almost as if like that dove dropping that. Is it called Eucharist? Eucharist? I don't know. Dropping that thing, that wafer into the cup. It's almost as if like we are coming into form, and this card reminds us that we are always connected to Source, and that we are Source as well. And so back to what I was saying earlier about the simplicity in life. Even though we're not living in simple times. I want to once again acknowledge that. But the Ace of Cups and the symbolism, and even like that W, right? The W, for me, when I see the W, it represents womb, it represents creation, that sacred space of creation that we all have in our bodies. That's not specific to gender because we all create from that space. And, and this energy of simplicity in our connection to spirit, simplicity in our spirituality, simplicity in our relationship to one another, simplicity in our healing. And that doesn't mean that it won't be hard and it won't be deep wounds, but how do we open up to ease and simplicity? And so, an invitation that I feel called to share is that this upcoming week or month, notice your breath. Take some moments, similar that I think the message yesterday was about stillness. It kind of like, carries like almost a continuation of that message, and really realizing, not realizing, but just tuning in, right, and feeling into how may I be in simple right relationship with my healing, with my relationships, with my joy, with my love, with my spirituality. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed and consumed with bigger is better and more is better, and we need this, we need this, we need that. And that's not to say that sometimes that we don't need a little bit more. That's not fun to be able to add and to add things to our altares, or bring in more. No doubt, not saying that at all. But the thing is to always remember that we don't need all of that, right? We have our breath, we have our body, right? We can hold a glass of water and we can pray and we can chant, and we can be with our loved ones. Like, we can be in moments that are unplanned and we're sitting outside, and it's like that joy when you're in communion with others. And that's like simple. And that's the most beautiful, most precious thing, right? That's like the most precious thing, when you look over and you see your child smiling and your heart warms up, when you see your an elder that you love, or your partner, or the kids that you care for, whatever it may be, the animals in your yard, your pets, your plants, right? Your community, when you see people standing together to demand a much better, safer, humane world, like all of those things, right? That remind us of our humanness, that remind us of our spirits. And I think the Ace of Cups is here to nudge us in that. And I invite you, to just hand over heart, hand over womb, that sacred space of creation. Notice your breath, and just asking, like, how may I be open to this simplicity of joy and love and spirit, and through everything that's going on, where are the moments of peace? Where are the moments where I feel that connection to spirit? And I'm going to tell you once again, I'm not saying that you can't ever buy more or have more elaborate things or nothing like that, but I think it's really important that when we strip it all down, right, we're spirit. And so take some time in this upcoming week or months. Just ask yourself and feel into that, the simplicity of spirit, the simplicity of connection to spirit, of your spiritual practices. That's what the Ace of Cups is here to remind you, and to remind me, to remind both of us, because I'm in this with you. I pulled this card and I'm sharing this reflection, but this is just as much for me as it is for you. And I invite you too to take out that card and really look at all the different pieces, the symbols. And maybe you have a different tarot deck and it's inspired by Pamela Coleman Smith. Look at the author, the artist, and see what elements of the Ace of Cups and what calls out to you in relationship, to the words that I just shared. That's what I got for you today, my love. Hope this was of service to you. Mad love for tuning in. And that's what I got. I'm out. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.